Just want to start out by maybe just saying, in a nutshell, what's this process been like? Maybe just from the get-go of getting the opportunity to play for Team Canada.
Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting one. I don't think when I was at UC I would have put money on myself to be here at these Olympics. So yeah, it's been very interesting, very exciting. And I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be here, and circumstances have helped me out along the way. And I think the opportunities I've been giving along the way to be here, I've definitely been lucky, which I think is partly what it takes to be here as well. Like kind of at the right time, at the right place at the right time. So thankfully that's kind of worked in my favor. And here I am also at these unconventional Olympics that we didn't think would happen either. So yeah.
I think someone's on mute.
Are we good to go, David?
Yep.
Can you just tell me what, I guess the year delay in the Olympics, how that impacted maybe your standing with the team or your training or anything like that?
Yeah, I think like I said, like it's kind of like right place at the right time. I don't think if the Olympics had happened last year, I would have the same standing as I have this year. I think that extra year has really helped me prepare better to prove myself as well. I've had the opportunity, or opportunities have risen this past year that have allowed me to prove myself and prove my worth on this team to the new staff and what have you. So you kind of have to take the positives out of a terrible year that we've all had with COVID. But yeah, I think all athletes have kind of used this time to fine tune what they've needed, and in case the Olympics happened, and thankfully they have happened. So it's helped me, it's helped my teammates, and hopefully it's helped mostly Team Canada for the gold medal. Sorry for the US.
Vanessa, it's Betsy Ross, and I had the privilege of watching you play and being at all your matches at home. How did the UC program prepare you for getting to this point in your career?
Yeah, I think my 4 years at UC were obviously monumental to me being here. I think one thing that's really stuck with me and that's helped me along the way was Neil's mentality of, the relentless grind. And he always used to say, and he probably still does, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but he always used to say hard work beats talent. And that's something that I've taken with me every step of the way. I've never been the most talented or the most technical, the most tactical player, but I've always been the hardest worker. So that's what I've had going for me, and that's what I've taken from UC for sure.
What's the difference between the college game and the international game that you're playing now?
I would say the intensity of the game at the international level is something, even miles ahead of the professional game in Europe. So, you don't have time to think. You don't have that extra second to decide, am I making this pass or this pass? Should I go for the tackle or not? It's really like you have to make that decision or you're out of the game. So that's something that's been a huge adjustment for me at this level.
Good, thank you.
How much
So
familiarity? Oh, go ahead.
Whoa.
How have you spent your time since leaving? What was it, 2017, 18, your last year at UC?
Yeah, that seems like time ago. I've just been, since then, have been focusing on my soccer career. I left and finished my spring season, I guess you could say, online in Cyprus for 5 months. I got to play my first professional, or have my first professional experience there. And then from there, I'm also part French, so I got the chance to go back to my roots in France, play there signed for Bordeaux, and I've been there ever since. So I haven't done much on the academic front, but I have been able to focus on my career, and that's definitely helped me progress through the years.
From a national team sense, was there any consideration France versus Canada?
Yeah, for sure. I never had any experience in the youth teams. I obviously started pretty late, so I don't think I had any consideration or was being looked at for good reasons. I couldn't pass the ball. But once I got to France, I had the opportunity to play for the French U23s at the time, and right after that, the month after that, actually, that I went to camp, the Canadian coach called me at Christmas and had asked me, like, would you be willing to come in for Canada? I know you've been playing for France. And for me, it was never really obviously I considered it, but it was never really a huge decision to make. I grew up in Canada. My family's in Canada. I'm Canadian, like, at heart. So it's like, it's my bread and butter. So I obviously couldn't reject or say no to Canada. But obviously loved my experience with France and took a lot of positives from that as well.
How much familiarity did you have with the Olympic process? Were there any players that you knew from back home that might have been through it before that were able to give you a lot of guidance and just what to expect, whether it be off the field or actually when you're actually in practice and going through all those trials and tribulations that it takes to make the Olympic team?
Yeah, thankfully we have a pretty experienced team on the Canadian soccer team. A lot of these girls are actually going into their third Olympics, which is crazy to think, of making one Olympics, but crazier to think of three. And then some of the other girls as well, like some veterans who are actually my age, have been to, this will be their second Olympics. So we've been able to draw from their experiences. Unfortunately, I will say these Olympics are completely different. Not that I've been to the others, but even for them, I think it's been an adjustment just in terms of mentality, environment, culture going into this tournament. It's very, very, very much so different. But in terms of sport wise, we've definitely been able to draw from their experiences. It's not our staff's first Olympics either, so we've been able to draw from their experiences. And they're able to kind of fine tune and analyze behaviors, maybe like a rookie like me, maybe taking stuff for granted or kind of being like that giddy. They're able to calm us down or pump us up. So that's been fun.
How much at all, if at all, did your paths cross with Annette and Jordan when you were here at Cincinnati?